Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Today on one day after D-Day. D-Day was yesterday, June 6th, a day that all Americans should remember. And if you got somebody who was in WW2, be sure to give them a call if you didn't yesterday and thank them for their service. And you know what? Go watch a documentary or pick up, go to Google. Even though they're left-wing, radical, whatevers, go to Google D-Day, and read a little bit about the amazing commitment of Americans on that day to free the French. What a great decision that was, you know. Oh, boy.
Another cunning plan gone awry.
But, you know, we did the right thing. We freed Europe from a supremacist, totalitarian, dictatorial, evil, satanic, whatever negative adjective you want to put in, regime.
So they could do it again.
So they can do it again right now. And if yesterday was Thursday and tomorrow is Saturday, what does that make today?
Jumpin' Juma, Batman.
Jumpin' Juma, Freaky Friday. It's Jumpin' Juma, Freaky Friday. And for those who follow the show here on TrentoVision.tv,
do it again.
You want to do it again?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right, well, let me intro it. Okay. And it's Jumpin' Juma, Freaky Friday. I kill you. Good. Who put that together, Mark? That was good. For those of you who follow the show here on WNN 1470 on the radio side, 50,000 watts of crazy radio going out of Boca Raton from Miami to Orlando. And those of you who watch our simulcast, TrentoVision.tv on the internet worldwide, on Fridays, usually it's Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday because our good friends, the jihadis, are jumping like crazy. And, well, you know what? We happen to have one with us, and we can go right into the
horse's mouth.
Yeah, into the camel's. Can you say that? Camel's. Imam Abdullah, could you tell us just a little bit about Juma Friday? What is it all about?
That is our most big day of the week as far as the prayers. You will find the greatest attendance of any other day of the week, and basically you will burn in hell if you do not attend over time.
Okay, how nice. And the women? How about the women on Jumping Juma Freaky Friday?
They will attend a separate part of mosque. They do not commingle with us men. Okay. It is not permitted.
Why? I mean, our experience around the world and the United States.
Did I mention I am suffering from PCS?
No, I don't. You have no.
Prostration concussion syndrome. It is a very mild form of concussion from repeatedly banging my head against my prayer rug.
Well, why do you do that?
That is part of the prostration. Is a part of Islamic praying. We bang our heads.
Oh, good. Smart.
So it is a combination of rug burn and
your little prayer bump.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So, but on Fridays, it's a big day.
And that's called the Zabita when he gets
the
that.
Zabita?
The Zabita, little red banging bump in the middle.
Badge of honor.
A badge of honor. All right. Well, on Fridays, it's a special day. It's not like every other noon or afternoon prayer. It's more special. But why do you guys get all juiced up and jihaded up and go do crazy stuff when you come out of the mosque?
Because we're all excited. We're speaking of killing Christians on Sunday and killing Jews on Saturday. Yeah. You know,
no big deal.
We just get very riled up. Allah gets us very excited.
Where's the religion of peace thing? Where's that?
It's the religion of peace.
That would be in your United States media.
It actually is a religion of peace, Tom. I mean, if you go all the way back to milestones, and they talk about it is when everybody's Dar al-Islam. That means when everybody in the world is Islam,
there will be peace.
There will be peace.
Oh, I get
it.
The
other peace.
But it has to be the right kind of Islam, doesn't it?
Yeah. What about, is it Shia Islam? Or
they are garbage.
I don't know.
That is garbage.
They'll kill each other. One will kill each other.
We need an expert. We need an expert here.
Oh, yes, we do need experts.
No, everybody who's not in Dar al-Islam is in Dar al-Harb.
Well, we need an expert.
Are you speaking?
What do we know in here? We need an an expert who knows this stuff around the globe and who knows this stuff even in Tennessee.
Yes.
Where could we find such an expert? I don't know.
Where in the world?
Where in the world?
We're in the
behind
world
us?
right there.
Yeah.
Here's the United States over. Oh, like I'm a weatherman. There's going to be high clouds coming in over this part of the country.
Tell us about the
Oh,
tornadoes.
here's Florida right
There's
there.
Florida right there.
Yeah, yesterday was tornado days in
Yeah.
Florida. That was pretty crazy. Am I stalling for?
No, you're good.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
bring
expert's
her in.
ready? Okay.
We have are you speaking of the she-devil?
Yes. The she-devil? Is that how you
That
refer
is
to her?
how
Imam?
that is how me and the members of my mosque refer to this woman.
Oh, okay. Well, let's bring our friend,
Our
the
friend.
she-devil, according to you. And are you Sunni, Shia? What are you?
Sunni, Pakistan Sunni.
Okay. Well,
And our guest for this weekend.
and our guest for this weekend. But right now, let's give a warm. I want you clapping, Imam Abdullah.
I will clap. You pay me good.
A warm welcome for Pamela Geller. Pamela, hello. Oh, pink. We're doing pink.
Oh, yeah, you
Pamela.
got the pink thing going
Pink,
on.
All right.
pink. Oh, I almost wore pink.
Cool.
She looks better in pink than you do,
Yes.
Tom.
Look at a pink phone. I have a pink phone. Can she see us?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I have a pink phone,
There's
Pamela.
the
Hi.
pink phone right there.
Yeah, I was channeling Florida.
It's what?
I was channeling Florida.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to cut your video because it'll help your audio a little bit. So you will not be able to see us, but we can see you. And as long as the people on the television show can see you. How you doing? Yesterday you were traveling. On Thursday. Today, the 7th of June, you are relaxing. And tomorrow, guess what you're doing? Tell us about that.
Well, Tea Party in Fort Lauderdale invited me to come down and speak, and it's such a great group. It's such fierce patriots, and also to introduce the Breitbart premiere, Hating Breitbart. So you have that Danita Kilcullen, who leads the Tea Party Fort Lauderdale, extended this invitation, and I'm wildly excited, coming back from Tennessee. And as you mentioned, Tom, on the fresh on the heels of the anniversary of the Nazi phobes in the greatest amphibious assault in history, defeated the most brutal and radical ideology on the face of the earth at that time. And so I hail all the Nazi phobes should be hailed and remembered this week, and kudos to your recommendation that you call and thank them and watch. Some of the great films were made by the War Department at that time. If you can believe it, there was a War Department. You could never have a department like that now, even though really that's the whole Obama administration.
that's what it is,
People. But Frank Capra and Ford, they made great films during World War II, and I strongly recommend that you can see them. Google D-Day and War Department and Ford or Capra. It's really great stuff. It's when America understood who she was, and was, very much motivated by a moral compass, which we are sadly bereft of these days. But I digress. So yes, I'll be coming in and speaking at the Breitbart film premiere, and then the Tea Party Fort Lauderdale is holding I think it's a lunch at Nick's, and I strongly recommend your viewers and your listeners to get a ticket and come down. It's for a great cause, and we need an army. Right now, more than ever, we need an army.
Well, I'm sure if Pamela's coming, it's going to sell out.
Oh, yeah,
So,
it'll sell out. We'll all be there. And yesterday, on the Thursday show, the 6th of June, we had Andrew Marcus on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've met him yet, but
Yes, many times. We know each other well.
He's an amazing guy, and because he was with Breitbart for so many months, I think
2.5
He said
years.
2.5 years.
he knows so much about him. He's been involved in so many historic moments in the pro-American, pro-conservative movement, and he has such a fluid way of speaking. He's very entertaining as he speaks. So we were going to have him on for 10 minutes. I think we had him on for 30 or 40 minutes, and we need to bring him back. But we're going to be there Saturday morning when you're introducing Hating Breitbart at 10 o'clock in Fort Lauderdale. If you want information, folks, you want to come, send me a note, Tom, at TrentoVision.tv. We'll send you all the information. And then in the afternoon, a Italian dinner. We're rolling out the Italian food in Fort Lauderdale for Pamela Geller, who lives with a lot of Italian people in New York, and Danita Kilcullen, our good friend, is running the whole thing. It's going to be a great activism day. You're going, right?
Yes,
All right.
I'm
It's going to
going.
be cool.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, it's interesting. It's an interesting confluence of events because D-Day is also the anniversary of our very first Ground Zero mosque protests. That was when, that was the line in the sand where I honestly, Tom, I was expecting a couple hundred people, and close to 10,000 people showed up at Ground Zero on June 6th, 2010. And Breitbart spoke at one of our rallies. So we go back a long way too. It's sad but true that we are a rather small family. I wish we were bigger.
There's not a lot of us out there.
No.
Yeah, so really, it's really a momentous week on so many levels.
Yeah, those little the D-Day deal and the Ground Zero Mosque all coming together. It is an interesting confluence of events. Another interesting confluence is Tennessee. Why the heck are there such jihad battles in the sleepy little tiny state of Tennessee, going back 3-4 years now? But let's start backwards. You were there a couple of days ago. We had Janet Levy on day before the two federales from Washington D.C. and basically got their asses run out of town. We had Janet on, and she laid sort of a precedent as to what was going on. And then a follow-up to that, the next day, we had Janet and Dr. Bill Warner, and they gave us a little overview.
That was really good.
Take us back, put in context what was taking place on, I think it was the 4th of June in Manchester Conference Center in Coffee County, hours south of Nashville. What was all that about?
Well, when U.S. Attorney William Killian, or Bill Kill, had made some remarks to a reporter that they had intended to criminalize, to prosecute anti-Islamic postings on social media, clearly this set off alarm bells. When I had read it, and of course I wrote extensively about it, I called a rally. I called for an American Freedom Defense Initiative, an AFDI rally, before the event, the proselytizing event, the event that would admonish us as all, racist, Islamophobic, anti-Muslim bigots, and to protest the encroachment on our basic fundamental, First Amendment rights. And again, people need to understand it's the First Amendment for a reason. It's not an accident. It's not the second. It's not the 8th. It's not the 10th. It's the first because it's the key. It's the cornerstone. It's the bedrock of this constitutional republic. So it was called at the very last minute because, listen, this story broke late last week.
Right. And
we called for the rally on late Friday, early Saturday. And I will tell you, close to 2,000 people showed up. And James Lafferty, who's on our board as well, came down and spoke. Worked with Bill Warner, Joan French, Rebecca Bynum asked to speak, and she did. It was a tremendous rally. And I know how the media is playing it. I know the media is playing it like he was heckled and he wasn't given a warm welcome. They give absolutely no context. And what I mean by that is they said they were calling this event for public discourse, which means a back and forth, yes. And diversity, which we know is gobbledygook for, advancing this supremacist agenda. Because at the end of the day, what this is the Sharia. Mm-hmm. This is the Sharia. You are criminalizing free speech so as not to criticize Islam. That's the Sharia. Under the Sharia, if you blaspheme, if you insult or criticize or offend Islam, you are, the death penalty is...
I kill you!
Is what's exacted under Islamic law. But here in the West, they're moving in the same direction. Now, understand something, Tom. When this event was first announced, it was supposed to be an open forum.
Right.
Okay. Then when word got out, and of course, the news of the protest went viral, it went all over, and they were monitoring, we know that the FBI was monitoring the social media sites, they changed it. At the last minute, they changed it. They said it's not going to be an open forum. You're going to submit a question on an index card. Here you have people coming to discuss this incredible encroachment on our freedoms. They're coming to voice, because that's who we are. This was a government by the people and for the people, self-rule, okay? To voice their opposition, and now they're saying they won't be able to do that. They can put it on a card. And also another footnote, just so that you know, 2 card questions were read. 2.
Only 2? That's it?
That's it?
That's it.
So by who? By Muslims?
Why am I telling you all this? Because they'll show a moment of heckling,
Right.
Sure.
and they won't explain the context. And of course, you have to know that when Bill Kill would mention Holder's name, the
That's
place
when
went
the
wild.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
some of the video.
We
They're
saw some of
booing
that,
and yelling,
yeah.
and the guy that had to be the single most. The video we saw, which was just a straight-on shot, the single most worst PowerPoint presentation by Bill Kill ever on the face of the. He's got the thing up there. He's showing the words, reading them. People in the back are going, "Why are you here?
Actually, Tom,
why are you
Tom,
here?"
PowerPoint is accusing that Killian of blasphemizing PowerPoint.
Oh, is that what's happening? Yeah, that was.
Actually,
Did you get in, Pamela? Did you get inside?
Of course I was in.
Okay.
Not only did I get in, but I was the only one who managed to, out of the 800 people that were inside, by the way, and still hundreds couldn't get in from our rally, so the hundreds continued to rally outside. I had a sign.
Oh,
I was the only one there with a sign. So yeah, you see me there with this giant sign.
How'd you fit that in your pocket?
Yeah, a little tricky. Well, the police were really not. I have to say, the police were not. I'm used to NYPD police. Behind that line, 4 inches behind that line. Do not go above that line.
Right.
These cops were really. They were there in case anything happened. And I know, and you know, because Tom, you've held a number of rallies and you've attended a number of rallies. Our people don't do that. Our people are not violent. Our people, I mean, the opposition always is.
Mm-hmm.
well,
the
I
counter,
guess
the counter freedom,
Yeah.
the anti-freedom
Yeah.
protests.
I guess
always look
the
to agitate. It's the same thing with
police-
the EDL. With the EDL, I'm doing actually doing their show afterwards. The EDL always peacefully protests, and there's always this very violent Antifa, the fascists, that will throw missiles and will physically agitate, and then the media can say an EDL violent protest.
yeah.
This is what the media does,
Right.
and so the media completely misrepresented this event. And I was there, and I'm going to tell you that it was a great event. It was it was boisterous. It was raucous. It was wonderful. It was the manifestation of freedom, and I can tell you, they did not expect that kind of a turnout. They did not expect that kind of reaction, and I believe that they will back away from this because he said nothing. If you listen to him,
You're describing the optics right now.
Yeah.
What it looked like. What was the content? Is that guy as dopey as he looked on the video? And what was the content of what he said?
Dopey, you're insulting the dopes.
God.
First of all, he said nothing. And if you see, he never addressed how he would prosecute. He never addressed how he would criminalize it. He backed off that completely. And what was really deceptive is he kept citing, first of all, they were schooling us on what, calling us all racists. It was very condescending. We are not. We fight for everyone. We fight for everyone's individual rights, no special rights for special classes. And he kept citing the FBI statistics for religious hate crime. Now, let me say this. If you group all religious hate crime together, clearly it's much higher because anti-Semitic hate crime is at worldwide record levels. And so he was grouping anti-Semitism in when trying to make the case for criminalizing anti-Islamic speech.
Cooking the books.
Imagine this, because if you look at the anti-Semitic hate crime, which is at record levels, and the anti-Muslim hate crime is at very, very low levels, the anti-Semitic hate crime is largely a result of Islamic anti-Semitism.
Yep.
Yeah, David Uralshami just did a really interesting study on that, Tom, that you sent us over this morning. And actually, Pamela's 100% right on her facts. Now, but what's also interesting, in Tennessee, the violence against Muslims is like half of the national average, and it's so minuscule, it is actually statistically zero.
Shouldn't be looked at. It's so bizarre.
It is so what is it,
so
4?
Bizarre.
Yeah.
He's not making these speeches. Is Bill Kill meeting with Jewish groups? Yeah. Is Bill Kill introducing this for Jewish groups? Now, mind you, I am Jewish, but I don't want him to, okay? Right. And I don't want them to. I don't want them on behalf of the Jews to criminalize and so on and so forth. Oh yes, prosecute crimes, of course. Absolutely, all crime is hate. So that's a nonsense. That's part of this diversity propaganda that they're using to advance a Sharia agenda. They're not meeting with the Sikhs, and they're not meeting with the Zoroastrians, and they're not meeting with the pagans and the Wiccans either.
Well, I did notice he tried to group the Sikhs in with
He
Muslims
was
and
trying to
Arabs.
do
Yeah,
that
he
because
did.
of that
I
attack.
know
Wait,
he
let's
loves
do
to
this.
that, but, you know,
Hang on,
the-
Pamela, hang on one second. We're talking about Bill Kill. Do we have a little video of,
We
of
got
him?
that 2 minute.
Yeah, let's play that. We're going to play a
2 minute?
little 2-minute news clip, and so the audience can see who we're talking about. Then we're going to come back, and
Put
CJ
the
has
DDR
questions.
on.
Mark and Imam Abdullah, you probably got some questions too.
I do not have many questions, but I think your little friend Damon might have one.
Oh, okay. All right, well, take a look at this. This was a news clip from the other night. And ladies and gentlemen, watching the show, listening as you're driving, Bill Kill is Bill Killian. He is the district U.S. attorney. He's a big shot attorney from the DOJ down in Tennessee. And then they had the special agent, FBI agent down there. So Obama rolled out the heavyweights. Take a look at this short piece from, I think, NBC News. Go ahead.
A program meant to increase understanding of Muslims turned into a 2-hour shouting match in Manchester. A U.S. attorney was booed and also heckled by an angry crowd. Channel 4's Nancy Amons is in Coffee County with the story.
Well, Demetria, hundreds of demonstrators were here in front of the conference center because of some controversial remarks that the U.S. attorney made, and tonight he did not get a warm welcome. Bill Killian is U.S. attorney for Eastern Tennessee, but tonight he was treated like public enemy number one. His speech did not mention controversial comments he made earlier concerning the possible prosecution of anti-Muslim internet postings as a civil rights violation. The prepared comments were drowned out by a hostile crowd.
Of the Arab, Muslim, Sikh, and South Asian community.
Earlier in the evening, hundreds protested outside the Manchester Conference Center, carrying signs that their free speech was being threatened by the federal government.
And I hope people realize, you know, we've got our First Amendment rights, and it's not for the DOJ to rewrite that First Amendment.
Islam does not deserve the protection of the First Amendment.
Many in the crowd held up anti-Islamic signs. Others said their right to free speech was being threatened, and that was their line in the sand. So many turned out that when it was time for the U.S. attorney to speak, the 500-seat conference center was full to capacity and boiling over with tension and emotion.
As the Attorney General said, our focus must be on...
Whatever he had to say, this was not a receptive audience. Now, I was hoping to ask the U.S. attorney to clarify the comments he made about possible civil rights violation. He was hustled out a side door away from this angry crowd here in Manchester. Reporting live, Nancy Amons, Channel 4 News.
Okay,
Tonight's diversity
CJ.
event was sponsored by the American Muslim Advisory Council.
Oh, there's
Oh,
a bright group of people.
American
Muslim
Muslim
Advisory Council. CJ, you had some questions?
The
or-
Muslim Brotherhood, and we're here to help. Pamela, I have to tell you, thank you for calling for this rally.
Yes.
Kill Bill. Kill Bill. Bill Kill. He would have done a completely different presentation. His audience, this was not supposed to be an open forum and discourse and everything else unless it was going to be all Muslim. Once it became something else, because you were having a rally and 2,000 people were coming, then they had to change the program. So whatever
There's
they
no
were
question
going
about
to,
it.
whatever their presentation was going to be, they had to
Threw a
change
wrench
it.
in the
They
middle
were
of it.
there to educate Muslims into being victims and how to sue their friends, neighbors, and employers, and that they would have the backing of the federal government for doing
Yep,
it.
yep.
And basically, you peed on their parade is what you did.
I like
Okay.
that.
So thank you. And obviously I have to say from what you've said that the police in Coffee County, Tennessee have not completed their Islamic doctrinal
Yeah,
training yet
yeah.
because
Nobody
otherwise
got
you would
thrown
not
out.
have been
Yeah.
allowed in there
That's
with a
right.
sign.
Yep, that was
But-
pretty good.
I think it was under my arm. I didn't even realize it until somebody took it was a great shot of me holding the sign saying, and they tweeted it out, how did Geller get a sign in here?
Right. But
So I wasn't trying to be sneaky. It was just,
it just happens. Signs happen.
Yeah, signs happen.
Signs happen.
I
Signs
do
happen.
actually have a couple of questions for you, and we asked when we had our guests on the other day, Dr. Warner and Janet Levy, and we said, how do we stop the government from doing what they're doing? And they had very different points of view about it. But you
polar
had
opposites.
a great article in WorldNet Daily with how to stop jihad. And I'm hoping yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm hoping that you can tell us a little bit about that, because people will watch what happened in Tennessee and they'll want to know, what can we do to put a stop to this? And I think you've got some good highlights here that you can tell people about.
Primarily on an individual basis. It's a very interesting phenomena I have found in going around the country. People are exasperated and they think that, they're like, it's such a big problem, I can't solve it, and I don't know why they approach this problem in any other way than they would approach any other problem. You know, it's like a doctor saying, I can't treat everybody in the world, so they won't treat anyone.
Right.
You treat people within your sphere of influence. It's like what you and Tom are doing. If some people's spheres are bigger than others, so what? First, I advise people to learn everything. The media is the enemy. They are clearly an activist organization whose agenda is to advance a leftist, Islamic supremacist agenda, and they are fierce and they are vicious in this war of ideas in the information battle space. They destroy, they marginalize, they ruin the reputations of those who went off the reservation, those that they do not agree with. People have to get educated. They need to read daily, of course, my website, Robert Spencer Jihad Watch, sites that you can trust. You can't go to the New York Times for any responsible journalism. And so first, you need to learn everything, and to read Ibn Warq and Wafa Sultan and Robert Spencer and Bache Orr and David Lippman, and then to speak with, that's in all caps, exclamation point, every day, in every way. There are many people in their daily lives that hear things that they don't agree with, but they don't say anything. Speak up. This is how public opinion is made, and so that's first and foremost. Because look, the history has taught us that in the course of human events, the individual can make the difference. They can change the course of human events. My organization, the AFDI and CAIR, Stop Islamization of America, have come out with an 18-point plan.
Right.
It's a platform in which, yes, you could stop jihad. First of all, as I said, it's 18 points, and if anyone is interested, go to Google. As Tom said, we don't like them, but right now,
but we need them.
Yeah, you go to Bing and just Google AFDI and 18-point plan or 18-point platform to read them all. But we have to stop Muslim immigration from jihadist nations. This has to stop. It's funny to me that, again, day after the anniversary of D-Day, that it comes out the NSA is literally spying on millions of Americans. Verizon, which of course is the carrier here in New York, has turned over the cell phone records and so on and so forth. It's wild. I mean, the war is in the homeland. The war is here now, which is why, we should bring our troops home, okay? Because between those rules of engagement and the fact that Obama has scrubbed our counterterrorism materials of jihad and Islam, well, who's the enemy? I mean, if it's not
We're
jihad...
the enemy. You're the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
You are the enemy. Welcome.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
I've
be
seen
so
the enemy, and it is me.
Yeah, it's true. And even, Hassan, the Fort Hood jihadi, earlier this week, admonished the Obama administration for calling it workplace violence. He's like, it's jihad.
That was classic.
It's unbelievable.
That was classic.
It's unbelievable.
Well, let's do this.
But let me ask you this. Follow up to this. What do you do when the federal government is steamrolling over you? And let's face it, I think Obama has made it very clear over the last few years that he's bringing these troops home to have a civilian military to use against American citizens. Just like the strongmen of South America, their armies are for use against domestic enemies, not foreign enemies. And that's what he wants our servicemen and women home for.
It's a scary thought, but there's some serious former military leaders, flag officers that are thinking along the same lines.
Listen, that's why we went to Tennessee. That's why thousands of people came to Tennessee, because they are attacking the First Amendment. And why is it so critical? Because in the war of ideas, you need to be able to exchange ideas. I would never shut up a Nazi. I mean, as long as I can get my ideas out there, I'm not worried, because my ideas are better.
Sure.
We would film it.
Yeah.
And freedom is better. And the whole premise of this country is based on individual rights. The fact is, without freedom of speech, peaceful men will have to resort to violence.
Yep.
Right.
And this is why the First Amendment.
Well, let's
is so
tie
critical.
up Tennessee, and then we'll close that portion for a second. Then your 18 points, I want to go over some of those.
Yeah.
And maybe Abdullah may have a little difference of opinion with you, Pamela, over some of your points. Yeah, Tennessee questions. Let's do that
Well,
first.
as far as like Tennessee, and what I was really encouraged about, and we talk about the negative a lot, Pamela, is that back during the Rifka Berry trial when we first met, is since then, and we look at the maturation of what we do as far as getting this information spread out throughout the land, is I was highly encouraged that so many people showed up. I mean, I can remember going to places with you where, oh God, there's me, Pamela,
This
and
is
like
Mark
five
Campbell.
people.
This is Mark Campbell speaking. Mark,
Yeah.
And there's me, you, and 5 other people, and whoever standing out there. Hey, you need to be awake. Now there's 500. How was the reaction on the ground in Tennessee as far as the people were involved? Were they just upset at Holder and the tax thing, or was there actually a resistance,
righteous indignation over the First
yes.
Amendment?
What was that?
It was a complete righteous indignation. It was a wonderful event. Well, listen, even with Rifka Berry, if you recall, Mark, we had a couple of hundred people there, and that was in the middle of the day, in the middle of Ohio, in the middle of the week. The only time that we were at a demonstration that the response was small was, if I'm not mistaken, when Tom Trento captured that incredible footage of the jihadist demonstration on Broward Boulevard, where one particular Muslim was calling for the Jews to be put back in the ovens.
Right.
Where they were, it was an overwhelming demonstration. It was almost like, it felt like Gaza.
Yeah.
It felt like
Yeah.
it was
Remember
like.
that was a
Well,
crazy
it was
day.
designed to.
Yep.
It was
Yes,
in support
and
of Gaza.
Our side was relatively, was sparse.
Right.
But
25,
I also-
35 people, and mostly older Jewish and Christian people there.
Totally older Jewish.
Yeah.
If it was not for the
I
court
think
martial,
that was a reflection of the media's obfuscation and silence, commission, omission on Islam and jihad. I think that since that time, which was probably around 2007, 2006, around there, right?
No, it was December 30th, 2008.
2008.
December 30th, 2008.
Okay, 2008. Listen, it's 5 years later.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
And a lot has happened.
I'll tell you,
And people are really feeling it. Listen, this is America. I don't resent America for, wanting to live and laugh and love. And we are, products of a country that was based on individual rights, where we don't want the government in our lives, where, it's liberty and freedom and pursuit of happiness. This is the tenant. And so Americans want to have fun. I love them for that. I love them for that. And honestly, I don't think they get activated until it affects the daily social fabric of their lives. Yeah. And that's what I think they are seeing happening. And that's after 5 years of Obama.
Yep.
And then my question over general, have you seen an increase in the involvement with people, or a decrease, or are going down? Which one of those three would you say is happening, as far as the message that we're carrying out, in an honest opinion?
In a very honest opinion, I can tell you that there was a sea change after the Ground Zero Mosque.
Right. Fabulous event you put on there, by the way. So.
Well, I'm just saying, I expected a couple hundred people. They were close. Look at the photographs. They were close to 10,000. That was the first one.
The media said there was only a couple thousand, Pamela.
I know. Oh, my favorite meme lie was on 9/11 when we had like over 30,000, and the front page said competing rallies.
Right.
30,000. They had 500 tops, if that. I'm giving them. Yeah. Okay. And what I would have killed for would have been one aerial photograph of my rally and theirs down the block. That would have been the money. But that's when I saw a sea change. And of course, I will tell you, there is always an incremental, a huge leapfrog forward when there is, when there's Boston,
Right. Yeah.
or when there's, London, or when there is a jihadi attack the day after Boston of the passenger train over Niagara Falls from New York to Toronto, and the objective of using bacterial WMD to kill 100,000 people.
Yeah, and those are the things
it's
you
not
got to
happening
jump
as
on
fast
too.
as I like, because you see what happens after the attack comes the second attack. These were just, misunderstood boys who were having immigration problems. And I mean, I am shocked that the slaughter, the beheading of 3 Jewish boys on September 11, 2001, on the anniversary, the 10th anniversary of September 11th in Boston, 3 Jewish boys being slaughtered, that didn't make national news. I didn't know about it.
No, that was quietly put somewhere in the back of the newspaper.
I guess that didn't make it into the hate crime statistics.
No, it was called a drug-related crime because they had a lot.
That's okay.
They sold pot or had pot. Look, pot's is illegal in many places in America. But the fact is all the money was still there,
And all the drugs. The drugs and the
and
money were
all
left
the drugs
there.
That was a joke.
sprinkled across their body. They knew it wasn't.
No,
If you want to
there's more
talk
that
about
story.
shock, why don't we talk about the fact that we don't see it in the media or the government or academia or business, or isn't anybody except for 2,000 people who showed up in Tennessee concerned about the fact that the American government has come out and said we're going to criminalize speech?
At 5:38 in the afternoon,
blasphemy.
at 5:38 on
Islam.
5:39 now on June 7, one day after D-Day, here in Boca Raton, Florida, where we're broadcasting from. It's not where our studio is. WNN 1470, and on the TV side, TrentoVision.tv. CJ laid down a question. Doesn't anybody care about this? What we have today, folks, our special guest, Pamela Geller, out of Manhattan. Pamela, what's the answer to CJ's
Yeah, I
question?
mean, this is serious, and nobody is alarmed.
They don't know. I mean, why don't you look at the news reports of this rally? And let me say this: if there hadn't been this rally that everybody's poo-pooing, people, you wouldn't have had any coverage whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know.
But in these media reports, all they're talking about is that the people didn't go quietly into the night. The people didn't wear white gloves and say, yes, con us.
Yeah.
And yes, we'll be quiet. You come and you tell us what racist we are, and we'll be quiet, and you won't let us. There'll be no open forum, but we'll just sit here for 3 hours and listen to you disrespect us, lie to us, con us, and try to enforce the Sharia. My answer to you is people don't know. Every person in that group that came, these are people that made it their business to know. They are informed, they read, they're politically engaged. Most of America is not. And again, the media is complicit in this. They are,
That's the point.
they are either by obfuscation, they won't cover it, and when they do cover it, it is to paint us as racists.
Yeah.
The lead story of this news report, the headline is, the DOJ seeks to criminalize free speech. Was that in any news report that you saw of this event?
No.
Nope.
And that's what I'm talking about.
The one
people
clip
at
that-
the Department
wait,
of
the one clip that you
Justice.
showed, the one clip that you showed had one statement from a speaker. I spoke at length. Robert spoke.
Right.
Lafferty spoke.
Right.
I mean, we had at least 10 people. They pulled the one controversial remark.
Right.
Islam
Right.
is not protected by the First Amendment.
Right.
I mean, that's what they do, and this is
Right.
what we need to understand. That this
Right.
is look. This is the war.
And they
This
also
is the
got
war.
and they also pulled the only person they pulled out to put on picture on camera was someone with a
Confederate baseball
Confederate hat, yeah, lady.
hat on.
Yeah.
This is so obvious, but it's not obvious to people that don't know how to read a newspaper or read the media or understand that everything is framed like you would frame a movie, like you would frame a television show. That's what this is. It is packaged. It is packaged to deliver a particular message.
What?
And so
hang on,
people
hang on.
need to be aware, and we need to educate people about this. This is what we need to be doing.
All right, hang on one second. Mark, you have anything?
Yeah,
I want to wind up on Tennessee and move into.
I just want to.
Okay, let CJ's
Yes,
got one more
I have
quick
to
one.
do the EDL show because they got a ton of stuff going on up there, and I don't know if you're
Okay.
aware of it, but they had thwarted a plot in the UK to blow up an EDL rally in a routine traffic stop of what turned out to be a group of Muslims who had machetes, bombs,
No, I didn't hear
and
about that.
knives.
I didn't
This
hear
was
about that.
prior to the beheading of that wonderful Lee Rigby, and so today they're being sentenced. So I have to do their radio show. We ran a little late here, guys. I would stay all afternoon if I could, but I have to
Again,
do this.
CJ, ask your last question, and then we'll close
Yeah,
it out.
no. What Pamela's saying about people having to be educated and informed, absolutely. But what about the people who are in the government? What about the people who are U.S. attorneys, Department of Justice employees? They knew what was going on, and they gave it a pass. And those people are educated, and they know what it means to criminalize speech and to jail people for criticizing Islam. So
Well, that's
how do
another
we
show. But
get
give us a quick
after
answer.
them?
Yeah. That's
Yeah, but when you say that, when you say they're educated, they're not. I mean, Obama's Department of Justice holder have been bringing in Muslim Brotherhood operatives, Muslim Brotherhood tied lawyers, lawyers who are tied to very uber left causes. So many of them did pro bono work for Gitmo detainees, for terrorists. You're going to count on them? First, we have to change the culture.
Exactly.
Politics, you're not going to get Alan West elected. Okay,
Yeah.
Politics is the rear view mirror. We have to change the culture. Okay, we have to change public opinion so that men like Alan West and Louis Gohmert and Michelle Bachmann can run and win. They can't win in this environment.
No,
it's
it's
not
tough.
them. It's the culture. We have to change it. So as far as these lawyers, the Department of Justice, these are all Obamites.
But they have diplomas.
But they
on
have
their
diplomas.
walls. Yes.
They can read
They have
what the
diplomas from
Constitution and
universities
the
that
Bill of
inculcate
Rights
our
says.
young in a toxic leftist ooze.
Yes.
Their brains are marinating in this poison. There is no worse place for a young mind than the universities.
And
And I
our
will
next-
tell people, if your children are not going to be a doctor or a lawyer, don't save your $50K a year and don't send them. It's poison there.
And
I know.
Our next show will be what's the antidote for the cultural poison? And Pamela Geller will be back in the future, folks. The antidote for that cultural poison. Pamela, thank
Pamela,
you very, very
thank
much.
you, and
We'll-
travel
Bye.
safely, and we look forward
We'll
to
see you
seeing you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Keep up the great work,
See you tomorrow,
Pamela.
okay?
Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for your great work, and
Sure.
I want to thank the Tea Party Fort Lauderdale, Danita Kilcullen, and all that crew down there that is making the event tomorrow happen. And everybody out there listening
You need
should
to get-
come. We're going to have a blast.
You need to get all the tea parties on the teapartycommunity.com too.
Yep.
Get them involved on that. So
teaparty.com. We'll see you all there. All right, Pamela, goodbye. Go do EDL.
Thank you, dear.
Go
Tell Tommy and
EDL,
everybody
good
else we
grief.
said hello.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo, I will. Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, Pamela Geller, folks. Some people
take that woman.
Some people, when you interview, is like pulling teeth. You got to say, well, now, do you have any reason why you made that statement? Well, with Pamela, all you do is go on and boom, she just goes. You just gotta.
She's great.
You just
Yeah,
gotta
I'm
direct
surprised
her.
because she's so shy and
Yeah,
quiet.
she's shy and reserved, and not very outgoing.
Just gotta kind of direct her a little
She
bit.
needs
and,
to get into some,
That is what we refer to.
Assertiveness training.
Assertiveness training.
We refer to as self-interviewing.
She'll just rock and roll. Well, we tried, folks, at what time is it? It's 45 minutes after 5 o'clock on Friday, 7 June. Thank you for tuning in.
Jump in, Juma. Freaky
Jump
Friday.
in. Do we have our station ID here, our show ID
Yes,
for?
we've been putting it up the whole time, Tom.
Jump in.
Oh, you want that
Jam,
station?
yeah.
Because we're back.
No,
at
our
the,
Unique Friday.
Our Unique Friday
ID.
little thing. Yeah, we can.
All right, here's what we're all about today, folks. It's Friday.
I love Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Go bang your head.
Jump in, Juma, Freaky Friday. That's what it is. For all of you out there driving your car, Mark made a cool little graphic of a
yeah, you have to see it.
a zombie, basically. But it's Friday, and in the Islamic world, our Islamic brothers and sisters, actually just our Islamic brothers, go to the mosque. It's a very unique day for them. But sadly, many of them get jihaded up on Fridays and go out and kill other Muslims worldwide.
This is they get their jihad on. Freaky Fridays. They get their jihad on.
Part of it is theologically that if you're supposed to go, if you're a male and you're physically able to, you got to be there, or
You
you're
must
going
go.
to
You
hell.
must go.
Yeah,
You
and
gotta,
here we go. We got a
bang your
picture
head
of.
against the down. Now, there you go.
For you watching on TV, we had a picture right there. Show them again. Jumping Juma Freaky Friday
The
prayer.
Jumping Juma Freaky Friday
Yeah, here,
prayer,
this
prayer
is.
dance, headbanging
You have to
dance.
do it at this speed too. But the theology behind it is.
Come on. You don't have to insult people who practice the Muslim of pieces.
Yes.
The religion of pieces.
The
the religion of pieces, right?
Yeah.
The theologically, here's an important point. Theology. All right, enough of that. That stuff out of there. An important point.
Is he playing the Ride of the Valkyries in the background or something?
No, it's on mute. You guys are talking.
The theological point is
Yes.
that every Friday, if you attend Juma prayer, all your sins have been forgiven that previous week. So you got a clean slate. And if you intend on going the following week, you can clean yourself up during the next Juma. So you can do what during the week?
You can do anything you want.
You can
rock
sin
and
again.
roll, man. All you got to do is all you got to do is attend. You just have to be there. This is such a mind-controlled, cultic system. It isn't funny. And for our friends out there, and again, you know, we say this a lot, and we get accused with Pamela Geller's on. So we're never going to be seen as people who have love and concern for Muslims. We make a distinction between a human being who's caught up in a diabolical system that is Islam and the system of Islam. We're critiquing a system, and we're messengers. We're asking you folks out there caught up in Islam just to think it through. Do you think a God of love, a God who created the beauty that can be seen in a rose petal, a God who created the intricacy of the human eye, or the unique familial feel and touch of a newborn baby? Do you think a God that has the capability to do that could mandate you to go and slaughter others and strike fear in them so that people would respect that God? Does that make any sense at all? Is your God so small, Islam, that your God needs to have you kill others to respect him? All we're doing is trying to throw some information out so you can think this stuff through seriously. We tried to get an expert on today. We wanted to get an expert who they put a press release together regarding the issue that Pamela just spoke about the other day. And the organization is, what organization are we talking about?
Council on American Islamic Relations.
The Council on American Islamic Relations. That's the Muslim Council for Civil Rights. They put out a press
No,
release.
it isn't. It's the Muslim Brotherhood Front Group.
That's what it is according to federal law.
Yeah.
A federal lawsuit has declared CAIR as a front group for the Muslim Brotherhood.
And even if it
as
hadn't,
evidence.
it still would be.
Still would be, exactly. Well, we tried to get them today on the show, and we were going to see if Pamela wanted to speak to Ibrahim Hooper.
Honest Abe.
Honest Abe. He's
Honest
a
Abe.
convert
Honest Abe,
from
yeah.
whatever he was to Islam. He's now the communications director for CAIR nationally. And Damon, you made some phone calls, I understand.
Yeah, well, I was working bottom up today. I started locally with trying to reach Nazar Hamzy at the South Florida.
The head of CAIR for South Florida.
No luck, left a message.
They didn't jump right on and come in.
No, they
No,
didn't.
they didn't
I
jump on
left
the
a
show?
voicemail.
They didn't jump on that.
Then I
Juma.
went up from the local to the state. I called the state office in Tampa, left a message directly on Hassan Shibley's.
Hassan Shibley's the
Hassan
head
Shibley
of
directly
CAIR
on his voicemail.
for the state of Florida.
And
He's the-
then I called New York, or I'm sorry, DC, 202. Called DC, and I spoke to a nice lady named Amina Rubin, and she gave me Abraham Hooper's cell phone number.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice of
Little operational security
Yeah,
flaw.
so I gave
This Reuben.
I gave Honest Abe
Maybe
a call.
she's a spy. That's a Jewish name, isn't it, Reuben?
Yes.
Maybe she's
Yes,
a
but
spy.
guess what?
Oh,
Abedine's
wait.
married the Wiener.
Oh, wait. There's no spies in CAIR? Oh, okay. We didn't know. There's no spies. We don't know anything about any people that may be spying inside CAIR.
No.
No, that's never happened. Muslim Brotherhood.
It's never happened before.
Muslim Mafia.
Chris Galbitz. It's never happened before.
Dave Galbitz.
And of course, it'll never happen. Never happen again. And
She'll know that.
and there aren't any recording devices.
No.
In any of your offices anywhere.
We have no plants that
secret
are
video
close
footage.
friends.
Nobody knows anything about
of
any of that.
anything. No underground things like Dave Gobbets that are happening with you guys at all whatsoever at this point. Zero.
He's
no
pointing to his
infiltration
clock.
whatsoever.
Well, tell us what happened when you called Ibrahim Hooper.
Well,
Yes.
being I was provided with his cell phone number, I called him, and he picked up. I said, Mr. Hooper. He said, yes. I said, my name is Damon Blank, last name. I gave him my real last name.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm calling on behalf of the United West and Tom Trento to invite you on the air to discuss your lauding of the FBI and the DOJ in relation to the Tennessee meeting on Tuesday night.
Okay.
Click. Hung up. Oh, well,
That
or
wasn't
possibly
nice.
disconnected or possibly
could
disconnected.
be.
So I immediately called him back. He picked up again. I said, Mr. Hooper, I said, I think we got disconnected. He said, no, we didn't get disconnected. I hung up on you. I said, I'm just offering you a chance to appear on the show. And he says, well, why would I give that hate-mongering Islamophobic bigot the time?
Who, me?
Well, he doesn't know me. It must be you.
What? Wait, hate-filled...
Hate-mongering.
Hate-mongering.
Hate mongering.
What is
Mongering?
mongering? What is mongering?
I guess
You're
spreading it around. I don't know.
Mongering? What is mongering?
You're a hate. You've heard of that
Stop
term,
mongering.
hate-mongering.
Stop
You're a
mongering.
monger.
Those
So
circles
anyway,
or
a hate,
florets.
I'm quoting directly. A
Okay.
hate-mongering Islamophobic bigot.
bigot.
That is quote. Now, can I call him again?
Yeah, let's call him.
All right.
Let's call him live
We're
here
trying
on
this live. We're
Jumpin'
calling
Juma
live.
Freaky
It's
Friday.
not nice to
I
call
want
people
everyone
names like
quiet.
that.
Yeah.
Everyone, be very quiet.
Tell him.
We're hunting jihadis.
Tell him that you're recording this. You're live. You got to tell him that. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Hooper.
Yes.
Hi, this is Damon Rosen from United West and the Tom Trento Show again. I'm calling you on our live radio show, saying if you would like to comment on your lauding the FBI and DOJ on the Tennessee meeting the other day.
Well, we're more than happy to deal with legitimate media outlets, but I'm sorry we don't really feel a need to communicate with anti-Muslim hate groups. But thanks for calling.
Well, what makes you say that we're an anti-Muslim hate group, Mr. Hooper?
Mr. Hooper, this is Tom Trento. I don't hate Muslims or anything like that. We'd like to just discuss these issues. Mr. Hooper.
I think Mr. Hooper said goodbye, and you should call him back.
No, I think we were disconnected. You can
Oh,
continue.
No. I hung up on you.
Oh, he hung up. Did he hang up on
Yeah.
us?
Should we try him again or no?
No.
All right.
The guy's a nitwit. I mean, I think he is in our.
When we're really, really famous, he's going to be so sorry that he didn't come on your
Tom,
show.
let's take a vote.
What if I did like hey, Mr. Hooper, this is the Tom Trento Show. You're the 10th caller. You've won a great grand
I
prize.
like it.
And
I
maybe
like
get him
it.
going or something.
I like it.
Or you could eat spare ribs.
I think let's be. This is a democratic operation in here. Let's take a vote.
It's an
Until
operation,
CJ
all
shows up.
right.
Should we? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 or 6 of us here. 5 of us. Perfect. Should we? Yays and nays. Okay. We'll go by yays and nays. How many yays to induct Ibrahim Hooper, the communications director for CAIR National, into the TID,
Yay!
the TID Hall of Fame?
Tid.
How many ayes?
Is he looking for an intern?
The ayes have it.
The
Ibrahim,
ayes have it.
you have been inducted into the TID.
The TID Hall of Fame.
Now explain what TID is.
May I?
No.
Well, yeah. How about you?
The Islamic Dirtbag.
Oh, he doesn't even know the name of it.
Total.
Total.
Get it right.
It's Total Islamic
Dirtbag.
It's an appellation. Okay.
Yeah.
So if his picture comes up and he's on our show, I'm not on the thing here. If his, you know what? I may have hit this.
you hit
Nope. Nope. A little bit. A little more audio. If his picture comes up on our show, underneath we'd have
We need to flash
the lower
TID alert.
Total Islamic dirtbag.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's been inducted in. So it's growing.
He'll probably
Our
sue
Hall of
you
Fame
now.
is growing. I mean, he could. That's fine.
I think since it's Freaky Friday, we should call him back again.
No, it's the third time. I don't want to just.
Well, the fourth time's the charm. That's right,
He's
Mr.
been
Hooper.
inducted in.
That's right.
What we will do, though, because I don't think it's too hard to get his email. You got his personal cell phone, you know. He might as well.
He'll probably dump that now.
We'll later on. We'll email him the show and tell him that he is a star of the latter part of
how
the show.
many shows can say they had Abe Hooper and Pamela Geller on the same show?
Well, what we tried to do, we tried to get him on.
How are we going to top ourselves?
We tried to get him on, and then Pamela would have loved it, and then we were going to ambush Mr. Hooper because we played a win.
Because he wouldn't be expecting that.
We're not interested in being fair, particularly to TIDs. Okay, we played a win. He is a low-life propagator of lies and of a philosophy and doctrine that is destructive to human nature, to individuals, to America. And we have our mouths, we have these cameras, we have the audio, and we will disrupt, disable, destroy CAIR's operation any way we legally can until they stitch our mouths closed, put duct tape around it. We'll still be screaming. We'll use our eyes to send signals out some way.
I tell you,
so
Tom, I tell you what. No, Ibrahim Hooper, knowing that we have his cell phone number.
He's going to change it.
He's going to change it. He's going to say, "Oh my God!" It just gets inside his head.
That's what
Real
I
fast.
said.
Look
That's
what
I said.
CJ found.
He's going to dump
explain
it.
that. You got 10 seconds to explain
Yeah. His previous employer. Who is his previous employer?
Palestinian organization.
The Islamic Association of Palestine, founded by Hamas. And what did they publish? America's greatest enemy, the Jew, an unholy alliance.
That is why we call him on his tape.
Yes.
But you are a bigoted, Islamophobic, racist
TID,
dirtbag, right?
total Islamic
right?
dirtbag. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of another Jump in Juma Freaky Friday.
Juma,
Have a
Batman.
wonderful weekend. We'll tell you all about on Monday. We'll tell you all about Pamela and
are we
and
going to
Andrew
do an
Marcus.
interview with her?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah,
and
let's
we'll
do
bring
some
footage
interviews
back.
with them. Yeah.
We'll see you Monday. Have a wonderful and safe weekend.
Thank
God
you.
bless.